Did you see what Trump did to the Ukrainian president? And did you witness how Americans and Russians met in Riyadh and Ankara to lay the groundwork for what could be the biggest deal in modern history? A deal that will reshape global politics and the map of influence worldwide. We begin with a statement from U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who explained that President Donald Trump's administration aims to separate Russia from China. He pointed out that this strategy is similar to the one used by former President Richard Nixon in the 1970s to divide China from the Soviet Union. This statement sparked a strong reaction from the Chinese Foreign Ministry, which firmly rejected any U.S. attempts to drive a wedge between Beijing and Moscow. Then came Trump's hosting of the Ukrainian leader at the White House in an unprecedented scene where a heated exchange escalated to the point of physical confrontation. It was a clear attempt by Trump to pressure the Ukrainian president into complying with Putin's demands. While this was a significant and controversial moment, it is merely a part of a larger plan aimed at reshaping global political dynamics. But what exactly is the Nixon strategy being replicated today? During the Cold War, the U.S. realized it was facing an emerging superpower, China, which at the time was aligned with the Soviet Union, but had not yet gained official recognition in the United Nations until 1971. That was when Henry Kissinger, known as the Fox of American diplomacy, proposed to President Nixon the strategy of dividing the two superpowers. Today, Washington is reviving this strategy, but this time the target is Russia. While China benefits from its alliance with Moscow, the Russians have been left to fight a costly war against the West without receiving substantial support from Beijing, aside from some economic aid. Meanwhile, Russia has begun to reassess its strategy, particularly as the Ukraine war has exposed which allies are truly reliable and which are not. With the rising influence of the conservative movement led by Trump, the U.S. has begun reconsidering its global strategy by redrawing international alliances. We saw this play out in historic meetings in Riyadh and Ankara, as well as in the high-stakes discussions between Washington leaders and the Ukrainian president. And without a doubt, we will witness even more major geopolitical shifts in the near future.
I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now,